So last night, well, this morning, I couldn't sleep at all. And most of the time, when I can't sleep, I scroll. However, I woke up Thursday with one side of my nose stopped up and I wasn't feeling good. So I was like, it's either a cold or it's allergies, because last week it was 8 degrees and then it snowed the day after Christmas. And then this week it's 67 degrees and it's hot in the sun now. So the weather has my body thrown off. And so I struggled to say, am I going to record something? And then it was like, Oprah will record sick and Barbara Walters, baby. Barbara Walters died. Barbara Walters has been on TV longer than I've been alive. And it was always a goal and a dream of mine to work with her or to at least meet her. I remember watching Barbara Walters with my grandmother, and so I struggle with, like, am I gonna, because I'm really vain. I mean, I've gotten at it. I'm not as vain as I used to be, but I normally wouldn't make a video unless everything was perfect. But my nose has been itching something terrible, and so now it hurts because I keep rubbing it. And so I was like, that's gonna come across ugly. And God said the message you got to give is way bigger than a little cold. So while I was scrolling last night, I found the video on Instagram that said the 2 women that really are responsible for the baby that was kidnapped in a car in Columbus, I think it was. They found it in Indianapolis. And so I read who their names was on TikTok, and I went to TikTok and I looked them up, and they have 17 parts to it. They made it like, TikTok only lets you get a few minutes in, so they made several different videos, and they go about telling how they met the lady, how they are really great detectives. They're best friends. One of them, she said her name was is it Mika Monet? Anyway, the last video I'm gonna tag here so you can watch that. But they talked about how they were able to solve the crime and get that baby home to his mother. But in the way that they had to go about it, it was so disturbing, because I think that we all feel like if little baby K had been a non-black baby, he would have been found sooner. I think that's the elephant in the room. I think that's the trigger for me, because when it comes to one of ours, we have to look out for each other. We got to try to save ourselves, so to speak. So they had to be the police, and they had to be the detective, and they had to be the private eye, and they had to be EMTs. Like, they had to be everything. And the story is so interesting. I would recommend everybody to go through and listen to the whole thing, because they had her in the car, and they got her to where she trusted them enough that she started telling them a little bit about herself, and she was telling truths and things like that. And this is after they figured out that this is in fact the woman that is wanted for kidnapping the baby. And these are both mothers themselves. Understand that. That's what we become mother. And if I'm a mother, I'm not just a mother of mine. I'm a mother of everybody's that come in contact with me. So they did all this detective work. They had an address for her. They had talked on the phone, so they had a number for her. They went and picked her up, and she was going to do some stealing for them. So she was telling them things. But the thing that they had to do was they had to make all these clues fit into this big old puzzle, because they weren't given a lot of information. They was trying to reach out to the family, and they had a reward out. The family had a reward out, and every time it's a reward out, there is some people that's going to slip through, and they're going to try to trick you and things like that. So I understand them being cautious. They understood that they was cautioned. And so they dug and dug and dug until they could find somebody that was close to the family that they were able to speak to and say, well, this is what we think we found, and we got this. And so they were doing police work. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think they said they do hair. So not only on your resume put that you do hair, but you also solved the crime. You brought a baby home. You eased the mother's fears. You let us know that there are still some good women out there, some good people, some mothers, some fathers. The police and the detective was basically putting them off, and as mothers they couldn't give up, and they didn't give up. And when they finally got to the police, got to where the police would even begin to question her, they still wasn't looking for the baby. And so they finally got her out of the car, and they arrested her, had her in the back of the police car. And then they get in the car and they was like, well, we ain't through. This ain't over, because that baby's still out there. And as a mother, you have to always think, what if I get involved and I take the chance on something happening to me to take me away from my kids? But yet we know that there's a mother that hasn't slept, and there's a mother that is upset, and there's a baby out here that needs this mother, and his twin, he's a twin. They are womb mates to the end. So there was more of a need to be met, and so they started going back in their brains over the conversations that they had to her and some of the things that she said. And so they were able to remember a plaza, a Papa John's, things that she had told them, that this stuff just came back to them. And they get to the plaza, and there's the car, and the tag was taken off the car. And so one girl stuck her arm in to unlock the door, and she said she smelled a foul smell, and it scared her, and she thought the worst. And something happened, and she screamed, and then the baby started crying. And I believe it was at that moment that she was able to exhale. But nobody's saying, I just seen this one story about them saying that they were the ones to aid. And so what I'm trying to figure out is, where are our leaders that's going to say, we appreciate you? Because they took on a task much bigger. And it's so easy nowadays to say, that ain't my problem. My kids, they're here. They're safe. We're at a time that we could just watch on social media and thank God that it's not us. But these two mothers, these two women, these two queens stepped up and made sure that that baby made it back home. And the triggering point for me with this is, would I have been so wrapped up in my own mess? Would I have just let it go? Would I have just been too focused, too hyper focused on me and trying to get into 2023 and get all these goals checked out? Would I have been too focused on me that I wouldn't have done what these ladies did? And I would like to say that I would, and I have, but I haven't. Because for one thing, I know that if you go out there, you're picking up certain things that you can't leave down there. And if you discover, or if you happen to come across the wrong thing or the right thing, it can scar you for life. And that's something that I'm better at helping on the back end. I'm sharing social media, I'm getting the word out. I'm gonna do that part because that's where my gift is. I can't go out there and fight the crime, but that's why we pay the taxes, I thought. But y'all make sure y'all vote so y'all know what's going on in your own neighborhoods, because had it not been for these two women, and it's funny that the baby boys were twin, and she kept calling herself, she kept calling her friend twin, but then she said they found the baby on December the 22nd, 2022. That's 12, 22, 22. Twins. So there's some kind of connection, correlation with all of that. I don't know what it is. I could speculate all day long, but I wouldn't have thought about it if she hadn't have brought it up. But then the twins, and then it's connected some kind of way. But I want to say thank you to them. If y'all see this, holler at me. I want to talk to y'all for real. I want to say, Mom, be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself, because you ain't alone. We have all done that, or we all have given ourselves just a little bit of grace when we knew better. And that reminds me of Sarah Jakes talking about Eve, how she want to holler at Eve and she want to give Eve the business, but then she realized she done messed up too. So Mom, be easy. Congratulations to the ladies. I pray that the city or somebody do something to honor you. I tilt my hat off to you. I thank you, and I want you to know that even if mainstream media don't pick it up, we see you, we appreciate you, and congratulations on the newest baby. One of them is pregnant. When that karma spin the block, y'all gonna get it back, because that's good karma, and we need to see more of that in the world. And we're about to enter a new year, and new year is gonna be some more new stuff. So take what you can from this. I know it was long, but I try to stay on the main topic. Just the takeaway is, see what happens when we can work together, when we can do it together, when we can be stronger together and united in love. Because I don't know anybody with a heart that wasn't praying and asking for the baby to be brought home safely, because we don't know who she's raising. We don't know who she saved. And he could be the next black president, or he could be the one to cure cancer, or he could be the one to cure endometriosis. Like, we all are trying to find the silver lining in every dark cloud. Every dark cloud. So I'm not the message, I'm just the messenger.